it's really, that's the sweet story about our company is, I'd never been to New York ever. And the pizzas that Greg and I were making, we were really, it didn't have a style, we just grabbed doughs and made doughs and made pizzas, and we would doctor them up with our own topping selections and take junk off that was on it we didn't want and add more onto it. So, we were young. We were, juniors and seniors in high school. That was our thing on Friday night, go to his house, and his mom let us have the run of the kitchen. So it worked. But, when I decided to go into the pizza industry or into a career in pizza, because I really was in corporate America. I worked in restaurants all my life. I never cooked except for a short 6-month stint, which was in a pizzeria in El Paso, Texas, where I grew up. They didn't have it was just an American pizza place. It wasn't, it didn't follow any certain motif or anything like that. So when I decided to open a restaurant, it was either pizza or barbecue. I didn't even know yet because I don't cook. I didn't know which one. I'm in Texas. Either one could have worked. But when I really sat and thought about growing a business, you don't see a bunch of chains, good barbecue restaurants that have turned into chains that are, have multiple locations. So pizza, though, you do, and you have, and there have been many, many representations of it throughout the United States. So I decided on pizza. I opened up a pizza shop, bought recipes from the place I worked for when I was a kid, and opened up my pizza shop. While I was buying equipment for the restaurant, I ran into a friend, and if you don't mind, I'm going to give him a plug. But Dan Saccone, from Austin, Texas. He's really from New Jersey. Moved down from Jersey, 18 years before I had met him, to open a New Jersey pizzeria in Austin, Texas. And so he was in the Leander area, at Leander and Anderson Mill. He had a few locations. He still has one. He's actually on the U.S. Pizza team with me. I met him at auctions buying restaurant equipment. This guy was everything I needed. This guy was buying, and it appeared this guy had more money than God. Me, I'm looking at my pocket. I'm counting up my money. Okay, this is how much I have to spend today. I go in, I try and buy stuff. He's buying everything out from under me. That happened twice. The second auction, I'm like, I got to meet this guy. What's the deal? What's going on, right? And he is just all Jersey. He's just, you look at him and he just exudes Jersey. So, again, I'd never known anyone from the Northeast, hung out with anyone from the Northeast, never traveled and visited there. So I introduced myself. We get to talking. We hit it off. We got a lot in common. Got along really well. So when I opened my first restaurant, he came down to give me some support. Opening day. So, when you open a restaurant, it's like having a baby. I just birthed this baby after building it and designing it and coming up with recipes and tweaking it and training my staff. So we open up. It's a true story. He comes in opening day. I make him a pie. He takes it, takes a bite out of it, puts the piece down, says, "Hey, RC, this is garbage. Please don't do this. You will be shut down in 6 months."
Wow.
And not knowing, straight face, no smile. I'm like, you're funny.
No previous relationship with him either.
No, we had been friends. It'd be like 4 months. We've been friends now by the time I opened.
Okay, cool. So
we didn't talk pizza. Yeah. We just met each other, just a few months. And so I'm like, yeah, you're real funny. He's like, no, I'm serious. So, but then again, who wants a friend that's going to come over and just, smooch and say, yeah, it's great, and then turn around and spit it out?
Right.
So,
not a friend.
The best business advice I've ever received in 50 years of my life has been, he told me, I know you've never been to New York, so I'm telling you, make a trip to New York, try the pie out there, and then you come back and you tell me if you think that's the best that you can do. So it's exactly what I did. I jumped on a plane. I flew out to New York. I spent time there eating. My first 45 minutes off the train, I am literally 8 slices in. And I've gone to 8 different pizzerias. I had a slice because, they're every 20 feet you can find a new slice house. So I'm eating pizza, just having it. And I'm like, this is so different. It's a religious experience having pizza in New York to someone who's never been there. And in New York, it's just like, it's just, it's a slice. It's good. But for someone that's only had, I grew up with Godfather's and Domino's and Pizza Hut. That's, when I grew up, Pizza Hut had jukeboxes and a little Galaga Pac-Man game at the end of the salad bar, and they sold pitchers of beer, So as a kid, that's what I went, yeah. So I recognized it was totally different. So that's when I made the cognitive decision. I'm going to go there. I'm going to learn what makes it so different. So then I started my endeavor to learn about New York pizza. And of course, and why did I gravitate towards New York? I mean, hey, New York pizza hit the States in New York first, and it definitely is different than a lot of other places. Now, is New York the best? I mean, I'd be pretty, I don't know, I think I would show ignorance to say that, yeah, it's the best, just the same that I know my pizza's not the best. I can win all the first place I want, but I can even win first in the world. But does that mean it's the best? No. Somebody else with another pizza better than mine just hasn't competed against me. So, and those are all things, again, talking about the community of pizza, those are all things that we learn from people that have come years and years before us, either the Tony Gemignani's or the John Arenas, who are still working to make their pizza better, make their restaurant better, their pizziolos, their cooks, everybody better, including themselves, and the community behind them that supports them. So that's why I chose New York, because I was really enamored with New York pizza when I went and I experienced it there in the city. And when I came back and I was like, there was a couple restaurants here that say New York, but I went and I ate their food and it was nothing like what the city had. So I thought I need to emulate exactly what's in New York without shipping the water in. That's
right. I was just going to say that. That's so funny.
Because that's what everyone says. And so anyway, I come back home after working and living in New York for a while. I come back home, I close down the restaurant, I revamp all the recipes, and I didn't get some of those recipes. So when you work for somebody in New York, they don't change your recipe. Like, hey, here, make this dough. No, they're like, hey, take this and roll this dough. Somebody else, the owner or his cousin or whoever it is that's been there for 15 years, because someone's got to die for you to get a job in New York. It's crazy. My experience, however, eating it and really dissecting and taking it apart to figure out what's giving it that flavor or that texture, and then that's where you have to really study and learn about baking. How does the salt affect it, the hydration percentage, the yeast, is it a mother yeast, is it an instant dry, is it a fresh cake? So all of those you get different finished products from. And then of course, finally, the temperature of the oven you're cooking it in has just as much to do with it as all those ingredients.
Wow. So that was such a great answer to that